Bonjour à tous et bienvenue à ma chaîne YouTube. Merci d'être ici et bon visionnage. Today on my workbench I have Michael's Breckwell brand Pellet Stove Controller. This is an older analog version, and Michael sent it to me because he reported that he was having problems with the convection fan running all the time, even after he disconnected some of the sensors in his stove. So at first I was thinking that he had a failed solid-state circuit on the controller itself, so I agreed that he could send it to me and I would have a look at it. When I received it though, I found that there really is nothing wrong with this controller. Everything seems to be running just fine. I had a close inspection of the circuit board. I saw nothing wrong with it, and the switch is running fine up here, so there's no problems there. So at this point, I believe that Michael still has a problem within his own stove, and I'll help him troubleshoot that once the controller is returned to him. So I'm at the point here before packaging it up and returning it to Michael that I should do a final test on it. And as you can see, I have his controller mounted on my test system. The tester is made up of a faceplate which holds an actual auger motor in the back. This auger motor has a shaft that comes out the front, and there's an X marks the spot decal on the shaft itself so that you can see it spin in the video and you'll also hear it. Additionally, I have 4 light bulbs at the rear here that simulate different functions of your pellet stove. The first one in white simulates the igniter. That will not come on for this controller. The next one in blue simulates the combustion or the firebox fan. In yellow, in the middle there, I have the auger motor simulator. That will come on whenever the controller calls for the auger drive to spin. And finally in red at the far end, I have the convection or room fan signal indicator. We will see that one work. So I have the system off right now. Let me turn it on, and when I do, we'll see 2 lights come on. We'll see the combustion light has come on for the firebox, and at the far end, somewhat dim, we have the convection or room fan that's on. So a few tests that I can do here is I can go to high fan and look at the convection fan. You see that it goes brighter? That is normal. That's what I expect to see. So the controller is doing that quite nicely. The next thing that I can check is the different positions of the rotary switch here that will also affect the convection or room fan. So I'm on low. As I spin up, we see the intensity of the light bulb increase. That means the motor would be running faster or slower. Faster or slower. As I say, for every one of these controllers, positions D, E, and max are all the same. They're hardwired on the controller itself, so we don't see the intensity of the light bulb change as I rotate through them, but that will cause the timer in the controller to function differently and drive pellets more or less. We'll see that in a moment. The last thing I can check in manual mode is the auger drive. If I press the momentary switch here for manual feed, we see that the auger lamp at the back has come on. We hear the auger motor spinning, and we see the X marks the spot decal spin. If I release, press, release, press, release, press. So that is functioning correctly. Let's go to automatic mode, and to do that I need to press this button in the center which is named auger. That will cause a few things to happen. When I press it, we see the green light here has come on, and a timer on the circuit board has started. I'm currently in low position, so it'll take about 20 seconds before the first auger motor cycle happens. That cycle will be quite short, with a long off gap in between. Let's wait for that to happen. There's also a little light here. We may see that in the video. I know that's working. There it is. That was our first short burst of the auger drive. Let's wait for another one to happen. Again, there's a long period of off time and a short period of on time. A very short duty cycle. There it is. So if I switch over to max, we see that the intensity of the convection or room fan has increased, which means the fan would be running faster. And we have a longer duty cycle. So notice how much longer it was there. There'll also be a shorter off time. Let's wait for another cycle to happen. Short off time, longer on time. There it is, long on time. So a lot of pellets are being driven into the pellet pit and the fire will roar. If I go back to low, we'll see a very short burst of on time. Just to compare. Notice how short that was? Let me go back to max. The intensity of the convection or room fan has gone up, and we should see a longer burst of pellet drive. There it is. Notice how much longer it is. And the green light back here is on. So let me go back to low. I'm going to switch this off. And Michael, I do want to thank you very much for sending me your controller for testing and repairs. I appreciate that very much. We will speak on the phone together so we can try to figure out what's wrong with your stove. In the meantime, for all you viewers out there, if you have a pellet stove controller of your own, whether it's a Breckwell, a Quadrifire, a USSC, or a Whitfield, and you have a service need for it, please feel free to contact me. I'd be more than happy to speak to you about it. In the meantime, I hope that you'll take a few seconds to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I would appreciate that very much. Thanks everyone. Bye bye.